Hey gang, welcome back to the Dad and Buried podcast. We got a good one for you tonight. We're going to tackle the great pet mom controversy, dog mom controversy. I got into it over the weekend. We're going to get into that here. I think Pete has no idea.
I literally have no idea
what I'm talking about. So I'm going to educate Peter, and we're going to find out where Peter stands.
Yeah.
It could be the end of our tenuous relationship.
Okay.
All right.
On this, yeah.
So before we get to that, we want to remind everybody to support us on Patreon. We want to thank our supporters, the single dad tier, Chris Coleman, Dave Tuttle, Phil Mansfield.
You guys are the best.
Barbara Geiger, who sent me some nice compliments about my Mother's Day performance
In the dad pod.
over the weekend.
Dad pod
In the dad bod,
tier.
in the dad bod tier.
Yeah,
And then
dad
the
pod.
world's greatest dads, Sarge Diachason. I see that. I decided to call him Sarge and then still tried to get his name right. And Cole Wiedemeyer, the world's greatest dad tier.
You guys are.
Sarge actually bumped himself up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
He's a loyal
maybe
listener.
they
All
are
these
my
people.
real father. Both of
That's
them.
one of the tiers, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can adopt us
Yep.
if you pay enough. We're not cheap. So obviously, we have ads every once in a while. We wouldn't need them if you guys paid us more money. We'd be able to get another headset and a mic, maybe have some interviews on here.
Yeah, maybe you could hear us properly instead of having to turn your volume up every
When
time.
there's a siren that goes by.
when
Yeah,
you switch
like right now.
Switch podcasts, and you're like,
You
"Why
can,
is this?"
speaking of hear us properly, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, all the podcasting
Yes,
joints.
everywhere.
I don't even know all their names. There's tons of them. Watch us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone over this. Pete does that weird thing where he puts YouTube on at work and then just puts his headphones in
You
and
can
does stuff on other screens.
Yeah,
Is that
but
what
you
do?
can. Yeah, but in this one, you can actually see my sunburn.
Right.
For yourself.
And remember, YouTube is a good place to comment on individual episodes. On iTunes, please go and leave us a review and 5 stars. But that's kind of for the whole podcast endeavor as a whole, whereas a single episode you can comment on YouTube.
Right. And last week we talked about Mother's Day, which just happened.
Yeah. So on Thursday night, actually, when we launched the podcast, the Mother's Day episode, not on Thursday night, on Saturday afterwards, my wife and I went on live on Instagram where you can check us out. We talk a little bit about the last week's podcast and what it was about, and get into it. And Mama Buried, who never listens to it, was blindsided by some of the details. The not your mom thing, I thought she found very exciting, very interesting, just as you did. You gasped when I told you that there were a couple of dads out there who didn't get their wives something and said, "Why, you're not my mom."
Yeah,
right?
that is.
Yeah, that caught Mama Buried off guard as
That's
well.
Incredible.
But I gotta say, we got some good comments on that. Julie McCarthy, an old colleague of mine from years and years ago, actually chimed in and said, "This is something my wife says to me too." She said, when she's asked, "What do you want for Mother's Day?" For 30 years, she has said, "I'd like to get some lilac bushes for the yard."
Mm-hmm.
And every year, she gets taken out for brunch, gets massage vouchers, jewelry, and chocolate. And do you know what she doesn't get?
Awful.
Well,
Just like
she doesn't get
useless
awful
shit.
because she's a nice person.
Oh, come on. No,
she
meaning
doesn't get
it's
a
awful.
goddamn lilac
Yeah.
bush for the yard, she said in her comment, which my wife this weekend, she's been telling me about peonies for years. I could not pick a peony out of a lineup with various other objects, not even other flowers.
I don't know what a peony is, but
this is the thing.
I hate when you say
I've
the
confused
word
it for
peonies.
pansies. You like
Yeah.
that one?
No. I hate
Once
that too.
her friend asked me what kind of flower she liked, and I said, I don't know, pansies. And I guess they're like a weed. I don't know anything about
I think
flowers.
you told that same
right?
story last
Anyway, but I
episode.
got the peonies this time.
Okay, you did.
And she was very excited.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, so your Mother's Day went well.
Yeah, it went pretty well. I didn't blow it. I got made a photo collage of the kids and put. She was very emotional about the movie Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
And there's a catchphrase in it where the daughter says to Iron Man, "I love you 3000." So I fucking wrote that.
Spoilers.
She shared it. That's not a spoiler. It's a line from the movie. She shared it.
Yeah, it's a spoiler.
Hey, the spoiler ban has been lifted.
Okay.
And I put it on around the photo, and my son gave it to her, and
she said, "What is this?"
She started crying, and I literally in the corner with her in plain sight of her just started laughing, because I think it's funny for her to get emotional about something that makes her happy. She may not have found it that funny, but I didn't get in trouble.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I didn't get in trouble.
Good. Well, you pulled it off. I squeaked through by pulling together a Mother's Day breakfast that included.
You made your own.
Made
for her.
Made a breakfast, and I had the kids making cards, and then just at the very end, my daughter started screaming about something.
You don't even know what?
No, she wanted to set up a yoga studio, and to which I was saying, I don't think that's a good idea because it's a lot of furniture that I'll have to move back
in and out. Yeah.
And to which point she said
Was
that I didn't understand her, and she was screaming. And
this is the eldest.
this is the eldest, and then my wife comes up and is going, "Why is everybody screaming?" And then she starts screaming at my wife, and everyone starts screaming.
I hear that a lot from my wife.
Great.
Why is everybody screaming?
Yeah.
It's usually because I've gone to 0 to 60 real quick.
Yeah, well,
Did the yoga studio, was that going to involve your wife at all? Any thought to her?
You know what? It was sort of happening while I was making breakfast and kind of organizing it. Made avocado toast on gluten-free bread because my wife
yes, understandable.
Can't have gluten, and then eggs and so a fruit bowl.
You live in Hipsterville, right? So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, avocado toast is the way to go.
It is pretty good, actually. I'm not gonna lie. You get some everything seasoning, it's like bagel seasoning. Yeah, you can buy it in a tube. Okay, it's just everything but the bagel or something like that. And
do you ask for the tube? Do you go, I need a tube of everything?
Are you making fun of the way I say tube?
Yeah, it's like it's a grinder.
I've never heard of that one. Anyway, so it's funny that you said that you had them make cards because Sarge, one of our loyal listeners and a valued patron, said he tried making a sweet handmade card with the kids' handprints, and then his 3-year-old told his wife in the car beforehand
what they had done,
ruining the surprise. My son does that all the time, blurts it out. It's really annoying. And then I start screaming, and my wife goes, "Why is everybody screaming?" Spoiler. I've said that. You're a real life spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't. It's not the alert. If he said spoiler alert beforehand, I'd be able to stop him.
I know, but that's just what you should say to your kid to really teach him.
You know what? I write my own material. I don't need your comebacks, all right, or your parenting catchphrases.
That's a good thing. All right, well let's. I'm interested in getting into this.
Yeah, you know what? You're gonna love it.
Okay, let's see it. Let's
all right, we'll be back right after this. All right, everybody, we're going to get into this one, right? I know there's a lot of passionate feelings out there as I learned this weekend. So we're talking about the great pet mom controversy. Now, Pete, you don't know anything about this.
What's the controversy?
Okay, so the way this all started was this weekend on like Thursday or Friday, because I've done this before, right?
Because you're an internet troll.
A little bit, right? There are parents out there who get irritated by a specific thing. Millions of specific things, but we're focusing on one of those specific things.
They're kids, I know.
I am one of these parents, right?
Okay.
So a few years ago, I saw like a poster online or an e-card that said, it was on Mother's Day, and it was on like Facebook, Happy Mother's Day to all the pet moms, because pets are members of the family too, right? And I sent that to my wife, and she responded, and she said, fuck that. When you spend the night with your cat attached to your nipple, we can talk, right? Being like, you have a pet, you don't celebrate Mother's Day because you have a pet, right? So I put that out there knowing that it gets people's blood up, right? And I knew there's going to be some fireworks, and immediately this thing blows up. I end up with 700 comments. I got a death threat.
Oh, welcome to the welcome. You are an internet troll then. Great.
Put a negative comment on it, and then later in the day, and I responded and I said, with all due respect, no. Right? That was my response. And then a lot of followers get into it. There's a lot of opinions, right? And then later in the day, I made an Instagram story where I said people who think pet moms should get Mother's Day cards should get their heads out of their asses. No, actually what I said was, I wasn't making fun of moms who don't have kids, or my wife wasn't making fun of moms who didn't breastfeed, because somebody got mad about that too, suggesting that it meant if you didn't breastfeed, you're not a real mom too. People were like, how dare you get to litigate who's a real mom and who doesn't? And that's not my point, right? My point isn't that, if you use formula, you're not a real mom, or, if you don't stay at home with your kids, you're not a real mom, or anything like that, or if you had a C-section, because all these people, there are weirdos out there that think all this shit, right?
We're talking one species versus another different species.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yeah, these are two different species.
Okay, so it's two-pronged, right? So it's like 10-pronged, right? So one of them is parents get mad because obviously, like, having a dog or a cat or a rabbit, as someone suggested, is not the same thing as having a kid, right? And that was the point my wife was trying to make, right? Now, we don't really give a shit if you call yourself a pet mom or a dog mom, but we do think it's stupid and maybe a little bit delusional to expect like a Mother's Day card because you have a dog.
But not obviously from this animal that can't
do
any of that, but from
if
other
it were
people.
from the animal,
yeah,
man, more power to you, right? Then you deserve to get that Mother's Day card.
Well trained
from your dog, right? Because somebody said, there were a lot of comments. Somebody said, how's your snatch, right? Basically meaning my kids during birth, it does some damage down there, right?
Oh, I see.
How about when you acquired your dog?
Yeah. Did
right?
it come out of your vagina?
Again, if you did birth your own pet, more power to you.
Yeah.
You definitely are that pet's mom. In reality, though, yes, every pet I've ever had I've loved, right? I did consider them a member of my family, right? When I brought my cat Shadow, the best cat in the history of the world, to the vet with my mom that we'd had for like 15 years, got cancer, got it removed, it came back. I brought her to the vet with my mom. It's like one of the 3 times in my life I've cried, right? I love pets. I love cats. I love dogs. You can like them both. You don't got to be one of those people that says, I hate cats, I'm a dog person. You can like both.
You should cry more.
I can't. It's not in me.
I know, because you're like John Rambo.
Yeah, that is me, right?
But with cats.
I am pretty hard boiled.
Yeah.
No, I cry at like happy stuff, or I almost do, right?
Yeah.
Stop myself from crying. My dad was that kind of guy. Like,
oh my God, Interstellar, please.
No, Interstellar was junk.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
A love story between a father, an intergalactic love story.
I'm not saying that father-daughter relationships aren't,
it's beautiful.
Emotional. Potentially.
Plus they had Taurus.
The end of the movie Without a Trace, where the woman is reunited with her kidnapped son, that'll get me.
Yeah.
Gets me a lot. It's like 1983 with
Was
Kate
the son,
Nelligan.
is the son really
Judd
nice?
Hirsch is in it.
Does the son listen and brush his teeth?
No, he probably will after he spent some time in the slum by the people who kidnapped him.
Anyway,
I want to read you some comments so you can better understand what the controversy is.
Can I just say that? So I don't have a pet.
I don't have a pet.
You don't have a pet.
Well, I have a couple kids. I have a toddler.
Right.
Same diff.
Exactly.
I wrote a column once saying that having a dog is not like having a kid, but having a kid some ways is like having a dog. You get it?
I don't. I know.
Is it too much for you?
I know a family that has a pet, and it is a lot of work. It's as much work.
Our mutual friend, Suj.
Yeah.
He has a dog.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of times where I would be like, "Hey, man, I'm randomly free happy hour." He'll be like, "Can't go. I got to go home and fucking deal with the dog."
In many ways, in some ways, it's harder to have a pet because you can't. I mean, the pet, even as the pet gets older, they can't let themselves out. Or they can't watch
one way that's easier. My friend KSU Julie said, "Shit."
Oh, I
can't find it. She said, she goes, here's one of the ways there's a difference. If you accidentally run over your cat, you don't go to jail.
It's good. I mean, well done.
It's true.
Case closed, Your Honor.
It's not like you won't be sad, but there is a slight difference, right?
Yeah.
Although there's a dude in the news recently, like somebody who's married to like a teen mom who killed the family dog and got fired from the show, as he should be.
Yeah.
Like if you do something on purpose, like
she
probably
ran over her
not
pet?
her. No, this was with a gun. This was totally different.
Oh,
This is not she. This was her husband.
Okay, I hate this
teen mom's husband. Yeah, okay. I don't like it either. Okay, so
all right. I'm still a little confused. So you're saying that there are people out there that believe that their pet should give them a Mother's Day, or rather, they should be recognized.
Yes, not that their pet should give them a gift. Because fuck you, pet.
That's
if you
that's the end of the spectrum. You're at the end of the spectrum if that's what you believe.
End of what spectrum?
The spectrum.
Like you're insane. Yes, if you think your pet is obligated to give you a treat on
But you're not far off if you think that other people should say, "Hey,
I don't even think
Mother's
it's
Day."
so much that they expect it. They just got mad at me for suggesting
that they're not.
It was wrong.
Okay, all right. Well,
which,
I mean, look, it's a
funny meme account. I'm making my wife and I, whatever. We're making it clear. Funny is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. It's meant to be, right? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. But listen, so people get
except the kids
crazy.
All we're trying to do is hurt the kids.
Now listen to some of the things he said. Right. So this guy, girl, I assume, glittered in perfection, and I agree. She said we should all get participation medals so that no one feels left out. Basically saying like, guess what? You don't need to get a Mother's Day thing. Not everybody needs to celebrate everything. Not everybody needs to get credit for everything, right? In fact, B. Violet said, we get one damn day. See, people get mad. Don't give it to the dog moms, too. Having a kid is harder.
Yeah.
We get one day of recognition.
Yeah.
You're not part of the
more
club.
Expensive.
Right?
Yeah.
It is more expensive unless you have like horses or something. So I imagine that's pretty expensive. There's Amy Sacksteeder said, "Yep, pets have a mother. That's how they got here in the first place." Coming in hot with the science. Celebrating human companions for animals on a holiday reserved for the monumental work and honor of actual human mothering is silly at best. See, that's essentially what I'm saying, right? I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. And a lot of people think they did. Who are we to judge what being a mom means to other people? You know what? It's just biology. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying the definition of a mom in modern day parlance.
Who are we to judge what being a mom means to other people?
Yes, if somebody thinks they're a mom because they have a dog, they think I'm an asshole for saying they're not. You know what? It's like denying climate change.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah,
there are facts?
You are a pet owner.
Words mean things.
That's
exactly.
nice. You should have pet owners day.
Somebody said that too. It used to be called pet owner or dog owner. Now it's called dog mom. Probably because those people. Are you implying that someone who calls himself a dog mom loves their dog more than a pet owner does? Someone who calls himself a pet owner? Is that what you're implying, Pete?
This
is what happens on these things. So wondrous rapidity. Pet parents do count. If you can't count a pet as a member of your family, somebody you care for, feed, take care of when they're sick, and do anything you can to take the pain away when they can't tell you where or what it is, you shouldn't have a child because obviously you won't be able to handle it. Happy Mother's Day to the pet parents. Now look, sure.
Well, I actually believe that. I can't handle. I shouldn't be a parent.
Yeah, you're right. A pet
I'm not
is a
able
good
to do
trial
half of
run.
those things.
It's a good trial run. If you think you want a kid, get a dog, give it a shot.
No, I hate those. I hate those like false equivalencies of like.
I'm just saying.
Oh, like
it's not the same.
It's nothing like it.
There's a little bit like it. Like the things she said are true, right? You do have to prioritize them a little bit different. Although here's some of the stuff people said. If it's the same, then nobody would call the cops on me if I threw my kid in a cage with a bowl of water and went to work for the day, right? This is the thing. Or if you run over the cat by accident, right, which happens all the time. It's not manslaughter. Guess what? Because it's manslaughter, not animal slaughter. Just like a mom is a mom, not a pet owner.
What if you think about it a lot during, like, when someone's, let's say, building a yoga studio?
Think about putting your child in a cage.
Yeah.
I do.
Is that okay?
Constantly.
Okay.
You know what?
Okay. We don't have precogs, right?
This is a minority report.
Right,
look at you with the reference.
Yeah.
I appreciate
little wooden
that.
ball.
You know what?
I like all. I like. Means. Well, because it gets the verdict gets printed on a wooden ball. Yeah. Amidst all that technology,
they still use some
the
tactile.
The last of the trees.
So it's a Baileyful Life said kind of the same thing. Until I can kennel my children without CPS arresting my ass, dog moms don't count. And I say this as a loving dog mom and an actual mom.
Yeah.
Right, and she's like, I don't actually kennel my children. That's hyperbole, which, if you've been paying attention, is what half of my material is.
Now, hold on a second. Are some of these comments from people that just have dogs that follow you?
Well, this woman just said she has a dog and she's an actual mom.
I know.
No, so people got wind of this.
Baileyful Life. I'm talking about some of these other comments.
I tagged this with dog moms, so there's a lot of people and like pet moms and that kind of shit, right? And then other people who saw it and got mad about
and
it,
they were like,
tagged their pet mom friends.
Engage.
So there are people that don't follow me who may not have actual kids who came around, which is fine. Welcome. You know, I like having an open dialogue about the fact that you're wrong. I enjoy doing that kind of thing, right? So coffee and kiddos. I can leave my cats and dogs at home while I go to work. If I do that with my kids, it's bad parenting.
Yeah.
And people are calling CPS. I like the quotes like Trump. The fact that these are huge legal distinctions in treatment, leaving your kids home alone for 8 hours is neglect, but leaving your puppy home for 8 hours isn't, should be a pretty clear sign that they are not the same at all. Celebrate Pet Parents Day if you think Fido and Muffin are your kids. Nobody calls their dogs Fido anymore. But you don't get Mother's or Father's Day, right?
Right.
So,
I agree. And by the way, like what up with Father's Day? I can't be the father.
Nobody's called the pet. Exactly. Nobody's called the dog dad.
You know what?
Doggy daddy.
Time to get on the internet.
Yeah. Let's create.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna get mad that they're not being treated. So that brings me to a good point. So
I haven't been angry in a while on at least today.
A lot of people get upset because they think I'm being insensitive. They think the joke is being insensitive to people who can't have children or are struggling to have children. And I don't respond to all of these things because I don't need to get into that, right? So some of my followers do a great job of it, right? So the Decent Mother did a great job responding to some of these people in a much more measured way than I would, where she said, let me chime in. She said, reserving a day to celebrate mothers of human children is not discriminating against or taking away from women who have struggled with infertility and loss. Trying to say that is the same thing as the argument by people who say all lives matter instead of, God forbid, Black lives matter. Of course all mothers and women matter, and we can be sensitive, but we can still have a day to celebrate mothers of human babies without being considered insensitive. Right?
100%.
Thank you. Thank you, the decent mother.
Yes, absolutely. I think that, coming at this with a, hey, what about me?
Yes.
Attitude is really lame.
I agree with you.
Is
100%.
unbelievably lame. Because ultimately, while no one is taking away from the fact that you are a mother, and maybe you're a great mother or a parent to the caregiver to your pet.
Well, a handful of people said that
no one's saying you are by default not a mom. They're just saying this is for actual real moms.
Hold on, we're going to get to something you're going to enjoy in a minute.
Are we agreeing here?
We are.
God
I think we
damn,
are, right?
It feels weird.
So
all these feelings I'm feeling.
Somebody said, in what way does someone with a fur baby celebrating Mother's Day detract from moms of people? It doesn't. Right? And then we go back to the decent mother where she says, saying that Mother's Day is not about pets and being caring toward those who have experienced loss and infertility are not mutually exclusive concepts, right? Just because I'm saying you're not an official mom doesn't mean I'm saying, I don't give a shit that you can't have kids and I hate you.
No, that's, you're really, at that point, that's a very self-pitying.
You're bringing your own baggage to the situation. I made a joke.
Way to approach.
Or in this case, my wife made a joke. I don't know why people aren't yelling at my wife. She's the one that said it. Anyway, God.
You know what, Mike? Good call. I don't think you've thrown your wife under the bus.
Are attacking Mom and Barry.
Yeah,
check her out.
Good call.
She's the one who sent the text.
Yeah, angry pet moms.
So look.
And dads.
Here's what you're going to like, right? Because I enjoyed this. So Anthony Jr.'s dad, couldn't read that. I did not mean to imply you were associated with the IRS, Anthony. He said pet parents should band together and get their own day to celebrate, and let us human parents, or those of us that parent humans, enjoy what we have. I don't care how much you love your pets. It's not the same thing. Get over yourselves.
There's plenty of Sundays in the year.
Hold on a second. April Lynn, 85, says, when you try to include everyone, you strip the day of meaning. When someone wishes the same sentiment of Mother's Day to a fish mom, it robs Mother's Day of its meaning, right?
Honestly, I've dated a couple fish moms. And,
I'm sure I've seen some of your ex-girlfriends. Yeah. Tony Luke Tour 34 says, I Love Your Pet Day is celebrated every year in February.
Oh, really?
Even
there
better. Even
There's
better.
A day. It exists.
Even better, Pete.
It exists.
The Saturday after I posted this meme, the Saturday before Mother's Day, is National Dog Moms Day.
Is it really?
Yes.
Did that knowledge make it out? Did that mic drop?
I found that out on my feed. So you know what I did? The next day, I created a meme that said, Happy National Dog Moms Day to all the moms without dogs, because kids are animals too.
How long does it take you to come up with this?
Because I'm a jerk. It took me 5 minutes.
Really?
I included a picture of my kid wearing a Scooby-Doo costume from Halloween.
Was it the 5 minutes that your kid desperately needed attention from you?
The 5 minutes of a lifetime of anger and self-loathing and
it just
hatred
needs to come
work
out.
With, and it comes out when it's needed.
You're like the Michelangelo of dad memes.
No, there's people who are better at definitely better.
Sorry, you're the
memers out
Raphael.
there. Raphael.
Okay.
Well, which one had the nunchucks? That was my favorite Ninja Turtle. I don't like his name though. I liked Michelangelo because
I did realize that I was starting to name all sorts of
Ninja Turtles. Well, they're also Italian Renaissance artists, right? So, so is that amazing that the next day there actually is a National Dog Moms Day, and human moms or moms of children, weren't being like, bitch, where's my National Dog Mom Day card?
Were people blowing up over it, or was it just go radio silence as everyone was like,
it was suddenly a little. Well, people were like, "You're petty as fuck," which I just thought it was funny. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. I just find mean things funny.
Oh, you just and if that little joy comes.
I'm a jerk. I'm not. I'm not evil.
No.
Right.
No.
Yet.
You're working towards it, though.
I am.
There's
if life keeps beating me down,
yeah,
it's going to happen. This is the origin story.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe the origin story is where you bought that Aquaman t-shirt. maybe it starts
This
there.
Aquaman t-shirt is fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's not the Jason Momoa Aquaman.
Yeah, I know.
It's the Justice League one from when I was
It's
a kid.
the
It's
Urban
cool.
Outfitters.
The movie is garbage. It's really not a good movie.
No, I've seen the movie. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, not as horrible as Detective Pikachu. Although, you know what? It might be, because Detective Pikachu wasn't 5 or 6 hours long, however long Aquaman was.
You know what's really getting weird is seeing this digital, like when old people are made up digitally.
To look a little bit younger.
Yeah, like Nicole Kidman.
Well, you look, if you give us enough on Patreon, we get enough subscribers. We'll be doing
yeah,
that on our YouTube.
We need to do that too.
Look at like when they smooth out Patrick Stewart's face. The best one was Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel. Is really kind of remarkable.
The absolute best one, which I just saw this weekend, is Elon Musk on a baby. Have you seen this?
No, so these are the deep fakes you're talking about. That's different.
So great.
That's different than like Hollywood using technology to put a younger. Deep fake is where somebody fakes.
It's a great.
Because you need to be educated, Pete.
Oh my God, deep fake.
Let's get back to the dog thing that you don't understand. God damn it, fucking carrying your ass.
Okay.
Every week. So then Mom, who says fuck a lot, raises a good point, because this happens a lot. She says, more than this, what drives me crazy are all the single moms on Father's Day claiming that day for themselves too. Right? So like on Father's Day, because you're a single mom and you're doing the work of both.
What?
Why don't you should be celebrating Happy Father's Day? It's okay on like Mother's Day to acknowledge a single dad and be like, hey, I'm not wishing you a happy Mother's Day, but as I wish other people happy Mother's Day, I can be like,
you're doing a good job, yeah.
You're doing a good job.
But also, your day's coming.
Yeah,
your day's
exactly.
coming. So don't worry.
You know what? And guess what? If you don't get a day, is it the end of the world? If you don't get a day?
Oh my God.
Not for me.
I don't know, because
Although my love language is words of affirmation. I keep telling my wife.
I just cherish Father's Day so much.
My wife asked me, this is an actual conversation this week, and my wife says, what do you want to do for Father's Day? And I said, I don't give a shit. There we go. Conversation over. Don't care.
Yeah. Don't get. And she's like, hey, how are you feeling inside? Don't give a shit about anything.
There's nothing.
I'm dead inside.
It's been, she knows that though.
Yeah.
That's why I don't cry. That's why I laugh at her when she cries. Right.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I don't really care about Father's Day. And here's the tricky thing is when my wife asks me what I want to do for Father's Day, if I say I want to spend the day alone, that is, oh, really? Like potentially she files that away maybe, or it's a problem. Yeah. Sometimes. But on Mother's Day, if she wants to spend the day alone, it's like, yes, ma'am, I'm out of here. Totally. Right?
But
the double standard is what it is.
I've just kind of made it implied that
you're going to be alone. You going to like the Mets game or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I haven't been invited this time. So I got a handful.
You're not a mom dog.
So I got a handful of other comments. All right. So hold on, I did want to say our mutual friend Tim, one time in high school, we were learning genetics freshman year of high school, and he asked the teacher if it were possible for a woman to give birth to a snake. I've always loved that. Again, if that were possible, happy Mother's Day to the woman who birthed the snake. I'm all for it.
Have you seen Prometheus? It can happen.
The movie?
Yeah.
No. Oh, the Alien prequel. Yeah.
She has a bit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those movies. Okay. I love the first two Alien movies, though. Anyway, Meg Tav said, thought my dog was my baby until I had babies. Whole new ball game.
Here we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You think you know. You think you know. You don't know. Right? So then this woman got mad at me. S. Monk 628. It doesn't say anything about comparing the efforts of pet parents versus human parents. It says Happy Mother's Day. If you play a motherly role like taking care of, feeding, etc., then Happy Mother's Day to you.
Nope.
I am both, and I support the phrase to human or pet parents. It's all I had for a long time, and I probably took better care of my pet than others took care of their kids. With the fucking hammer at the end there, right?
Jesus.
Get it in, man.
Just adding a little judgment twist.
She's on one. That's what the kids say, right? She's on one, right? A couple of people took that dig, being like, I have taken better care of my pets than you have of your kids. Yeah, you know why? It's not as hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your pets getting hooked on drugs or going to jail. How is it even close to being the same? It's ridiculous. Right. You get your pet groomed.
Guarantee you.
Is the most difficult thing you deal with. Shut up. I know people have sick pets. My cat died of cancer. We went through this. I have empathy. You're just wrong.
Your dog is not going to move furniture to create a yoga studio when nobody wants a yoga studio in the morning.
That's true. Not yet, anyway.
And then
until they
immediately start screaming about it.
Dogs with humans.
That's not going to happen.
Well, you never know. Once we solve climate change.
Yeah, that'll happen soon, hopefully.
And then this guy, this was a rough one. So Orozco and Pollo. Los Pollos Hermanos, for my Breaking Bad fans out there. He says, so instead of going out and trying to adopt a child, this is rude. I don't even want to read this. This is a tough one. He said some of these people thought a pet would suffice. He's saying that that's a little harsh. Orozco.
That's coming in pretty low.
It's coming in hot. I think he got mad. People do. They get really mad. Hence the death threat that I got.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's disturbing.
Yeah,
slightly.
Was that your
not only
first?
threatened me, threatened my followers.
What did you? Was that your first?
I said you're getting bent out of shape, or I said, I'm like you're threatening me over a pet meme. And then she said, "The old chestnut. That wasn't a threat. That's the truth." Oh, okay.
Okay. What
You didn't really answer
the
my
threat
question.
was something like, "Oh,
The
don't."
threat was, "You don't know me. You better
out.
watch your back."
Oh.
Something like, "Watch your six."
Oh.
If she said, "Watch your six," I would have been like, "Well, this chick's in the military. I better."
Yeah.
But she didn't. She
Yeah.
said, "Watch your back."
Or she's like,
So,
she's a video gamer.
That or she's seen Top Gun.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. MIGs. A lot of MIGs.
There are
right?
a lot
That's
of
how you know
MIGs.
if somebody starts talking about MIGs.
If she says
They've been in the
flip,
shit.
flipping the bird,
Flip them the bird, yeah.
then they've really seen Top Gun.
Yeah.
And then you don't
Or
have to
they're
worry.
from the
Then
50s.
you don't have to
the
worry
sequel
about
that
anything.
came back in time. Okay, so
Yeah.
and then this other person again with the righteousness where Mamar 16, I don't care who celebrates Mother's Day. I have human babies and fur babies, but who am I to say someone should or shouldn't celebrate Mother's Day? I'm not trying to dictate what you should do. I'm just saying the definition. I mean, words mean things, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly, I think we're at a point where these fur baby moms are.
Let's not disparage them. They've
No,
got
I mean,
a lot of love in their hearts.
The one, yes, absolutely. But I think it's just ill placed. Like it's not the right. Don't take your aggression out on a day that's clearly for humans, especially when the mother of a pet day is the weekend
the next
before.
day,
Oh,
or
was
the
it
day before
I thought
Mother's
it was
Day.
the day
right.
before,
So it's the day before Mother's Day. But that's the same thing people are saying to me. It's like, why are you getting so bent out of shit? I'm an entertainer, right? That's what I'm here for. Right? I'm just making a joke,
okay.
trying to get
We
some
should shut
engagement.
this
Guess
down.
what? I got a lot of engagement,
Okay.
my man. Here's that guy, Avs finds. What the heck? When the heck did people become pet parents? The phrase used to be dog owner.
Yep.
And then there's my favorite Simpsons line, which I told you guys last week, where Lionel Hutz, the lawyer, says the judge doesn't like him. He's had it in for me ever since I kind of ran over his dog. And they're like, oh, my God, really? And he says, well, replace the word kind of with the word repeatedly and the word dog with son. That's a
You'll be
slightly
missed.
bigger deal.
You'll be missed. Lionel
Slightly
Hutz.
bigger deal is my point. And
That's
that's
a
all
good
I'm
one.
trying to say.
Yeah.
I love everybody who chimed in. I love your dogs. If my kids
Yes.
weren't allergic, we'd have a dog or
Yeah.
a cat right now.
Oh, my
I had a
God.
cat.
My kids are super allergic. I was allergic to cats, but not dogs, and all my kids were allergic to dogs.
So we had a cat when my first kid was born, right?
Yeah.
And we were at the hospital. So the cat was in the house with the litter box and whatever he needed for like 2 days, if that. And we get back, and the cat had a urinary tract infection and had peed blood all over new children's stuff, and was just sick in general, and was kind of an aggressive fucking cat.
Oh my God.
Guess what? I had a baby. I wasn't like, sorry, baby, you're out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't ditch the baby. No, I had to find someone to give the cat to.
Right.
Because the cat is expendable compared to a human child until the cat can talk or use opposable thumbs. So I guess the cat in Meet the Parents Who Can Flush the Toilet, he's bringing some value.
Yeah.
He's bringing something to the table. Then we can talk.
If the cat can choose your retirement home, then you choose the cat over the
That's
baby.
true. Or
Depends.
no. If the cat can pay for my retirement,
yeah, that
home,
would be so
definitely.
good.
Okay,
If it was a trick cat,
one last thing to bring up.
then you're kind of like, ooh, this one's really bringing in
I don't know
some
if you know
cash.
who Chuck Klosterman is, right? He's like a pop culture writer, thinker, or whatever. Thinker. It's funny. And he had a book years ago called Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. And in the middle of the book, he had like 18 questions. He called them 18 questions I ask of anybody before I know if I can ever truly love them. And these are questions I asked my wife like the night we met in person before we started our relationship. One of the questions is, imagine that cats can suddenly understand and read and understand thought and are sentient, right? Would they find the Garfield comic funny or offensive? That's the question. He just leaves it out
Nice.
there, and then you ask your wife,
Yeah.
and she says what she says,
Yeah.
and you determine whether
And
you
you're
put that
like,
in your
"Ooh."
vows.
And you
There's
say-
a very. I would highly recommend that book. Much better when you're in your 20s.
Assuming you
but
make it that far after that question.
after exactly. No, there
answer
are
of
other
the question.
questions.
No,
My
but I
favorite
mean,
question in the book is.
That sounds like a deal breaker.
This is a question I actually made up. Let's see if you answer it correctly. And ask both you guys. All right, Nate and Pete. What do you hate more, yourself or life?
Pretty much equal.
Yeah.
Nope. There's a definitive answer. If you want my love.
I don't want your love.
Yeah. Is there a way to take a rain check on
The
that?
answer is yourself. Obviously, life is wondrous and amazing and beautiful.
You came
even
up
if
with
you're
that?
great, yeah, I came
Was
up.
that in between?
It was a dark
memes?
time.
Was that in between memes?
This was before memes.
Okay, got it.
This is before I found a way to channel my aggression at Pet Moms.
You really came up with that question. And
I did.
And did you ask?
Did I ask Mom and Barrett?
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
You know how she answered it?
By packing her bags and
Correct. No,
giving you some
no.
space for
We've
the
been
weekend.
married almost
Calm
12
down.
years. She answered it correctly, is what she did.
Okay.
There's
All
a
right.
lot of fun questions in the book, not including that one. A little bit less fun, but valid if you want to know, what do you hate more, life or yourself? If they don't answer yourself, I don't know. You might want to rethink it.
Yeah, but then also if they answer it from your point of view incorrectly, maybe they've just really dodged
the
a
bullet. Yeah,
Like
they've
a
realized
huge-
anyone who would ask this question
boy.
is not somebody. So just
Yeah.
me asking the question, that's their version of asking the
Yeah.
question and finding out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, it worked out.
Oh, well, I'm very happy for you, and I'm very happy for all the mothers out there, especially the mothers of humans as
Dragons,
well,
mothers
and
of
mothers
dragons.
Dragons,
Or
yes.
should we
Ooh.
say mothers of dragon? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's another spoiler
Yeah,
alert. God,
fucking right at the end of the app. I crushed it.
You're really jerking this
Again,
whole
love to everybody.
episode.
I don't like most people, but since I'm really never going to meet most of you, I can say I love you and I love you
Yeah.
guys and I want good things for you in your life as long as they don't encroach upon things that would make my life better.
Yeah,
This is all I'm saying.
yeah.
Right?
So yeah, and I think as long as Urban Outfitters continues to print
To chunk-
T-shirts,
to
you'll be in a good
Pump
spot.
out Aquaman.
Yeah, like
This
retro,
is old.
Retro.
This is an old shirt.
It's not an old shirt. It's a retro style shirt.
No, I bought this like a decade ago. That's what I mean by
Oh, I
old
see.
shirt. I didn't buy it yesterday. If it was yesterday, it would have Jason Momoa on it because that's the new look for Aquaman.
He's so good looking.
Not into it. You know, my wife's not into him.
Oh, is that the litmus test? Is
I'm
that the
blessed.
bar? Okay, good.
She's into Paul Rudd, which is I look exactly like him. So
Interesting.
someone called me a low rent Paul Rudd on Instagram. After I called myself Paul Rudd, they said he looks like a low rent Paul Rudd. So they were kind of giving me a little bit of credit, but also being like, calm down.
Yeah. And I think you should calm down. But also,
Probably. It's good life advice,
you know what
actually.
I mean? I think we
Thanks,
should
Pete.
all just calm down. Well, I think we covered it all. This was interesting. I now know
We've
more.
taught
and,
Pete a little
in
something
some
today.
ways,
And Nate,
think
I
I
assume.
know
Nate,
less.
did you know anything about this?
I didn't care to know.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you know
there
what,
we go.
Nate?
Now
It's a
we
real
do.
slap in the face. This guy is supposed to be one of our cheerleaders here.
Well, everybody, thank you very much. We're at the end of yet another episode of the Dad and
We
Barry
did it.
podcast.
We did it. I was
Yeah.
a guy. You know what? I was a little
Thank
bit.
you. Thank you for
you know what,
listening.
I got a little bit aggressive this time, guys. You know what? My heart's in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just above your stomach, where it always
Is
needs
that
to
where
be.
it is? It's more in the center than we initially thought.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Okay. On that note, thank you, everybody.
See you
We'll
next
see
time.
You next time.